Most people think that budgeting is only for those who have lots of money, for the people who are already wealthy, but that simply isn't true. I actually personally know a guy who made very little money, and when I mean little, I mean little. And when he understood the concepts that we're talking about today, within 5 years, he went from barely being able to pay the bills to owning a home and having $100,000 of savings in the bank. Let's talk step by step how to do this. I'll walk you through every step so that you too can have the money like he had, regardless of whether or not you have any money now. Yes, today we are going to talk about budgeting, but not like you think. You see, I know you've been told that buying your cup of coffee is what's keeping you from being a millionaire, but that's not true. Budgeting is about giving you peace of mind, controlling your money so that it can work for you and not against you. And it really all starts with knowing your numbers. The first step of knowing your numbers is actually knowing what your numbers are. And that's the first thing that we tend to not really realize. We don't really know our numbers. We have a vague idea of how much money comes in and how much money goes out, and we definitely know there never seems to be enough money. But when we really figure it out, we realize there's a lot more to work with than we really knew. So the first step here in knowing your numbers is simply fill out a sheet of paper. You don't need this sheet of paper, you can use any sheet of paper, but all you do here is you list every type of income you've had over the last month. You can look through your bank statement and see every time money has been put in the bank and call that income. Income comes in many different forms. I'll leave a link to these forms down below. They are 100% free. They are from Your Money Reset. Your Money Reset is a great tool. And no, I don't get any money for recommending that to you. But I will leave a link to these forms so that you can use them yourself. So the first thing in knowing your numbers is knowing how much income you have, how much money you're taking in. So you simply fill out that form and you see very clearly and very quickly how much money came in. Now the next one is called the budget worksheet. And don't think of this as budget. We're not even there yet. We're not budgeting anything. But what you do next is you fill out the budget worksheet, again, looking through your bank statement, listing every expense you've had for the last month. Really easy. Now, if you know you've spent some cash, try and remember what that is and include that on the sheet as well. Now that you know exactly how much you've made and how much you've spent, you now have an idea of what your financial picture truly looks like. You can see money came in, money went out. Looking through your bank statements and your credit card statements, you can add this all up. Quite often what we find is more money went out than what came in. That's not good. That means we're accumulating more debt, and we don't want to accumulate more debt. So the next step is print out another form, the budget worksheet again. Print out a bunch of budget worksheets because we can write on them, we can scribble on them, we can get angry at them, we can throw them away, we can fill out another one. But once we have that budget worksheet filled out, we know what our income is, we know what our expenses were. Now what we need to do is go through this budget worksheet, reducing our expenses to fit within our income. Now, let's be honest here, we can't cut everything. The electric bill is always going to be what the electric bill is. The phone bill will always be the phone bill. So we just have to account for that reality that these are pretty much fixed expenses. The mortgage or the rent will always be what it is, and insurance will always be what it is. So take that out. Now we can see how much money we have left. Now we can work on some of these variable expenses. I'm not saying cut out eating out or cut out your cup of coffee. These are important to you. You enjoy them, so you need to keep them in. Yes, maybe there's a time and a place where maybe we don't need to eat out as many times. Think, with my family of 4, when I go out to eat, it's an easy $100 every time. So if I eat out one less time per month, I've probably saved for my budget an easy $100. So this is how we start to cut things down. Just start reducing things that can be reduced within reason, but don't just eliminate something you enjoy. That's silliness. And no, you don't need to go buy the cheapest store brand coffee there is and brew it at home. You can still go to the coffee shop. But if you're spending way too much money for the amount of income you have, maybe you reduce the amount of times you go to the coffee shop, or maybe you buy a slightly smaller coffee so that you still enjoy your cup of coffee, but you saved $1 or $2. And no, $1 or $2, again, isn't gonna be your $1 million savings. But when we can get things to start to work where we're spending less than we make, money will start to work for us and not against us. But great budgeting isn't just about having a budget. Part of this is also going to be to have at least a little bit left over that goes to savings or investments to plan for your future. It doesn't need to be a lot of money. You can start with $5. It's really easy, and put that $5 in a savings account until it accumulates about $100, and then go put it in a low-cost investment so that it grows for you, so that this money starts working for you. This money is extremely useful for your future, and it's very important to have some kind of savings. And when emergencies come up, you can use some of this money to cover those. Let's be honest, it's not a question of will an emergency happen? The truth is, an emergency will come up. And how we respond to that is based on our financial situation. Do we go further into debt to handle every unexpected expense? Or do we have a savings account, a buffer, that will help handle these expenses for us? You know, sometimes the fastest way to save more is to make more. Well, duh, that was easy to say, harder to pull off. But is it as hard as you think? I've got some videos on this channel that you can watch about side income and ways to make more money. I encourage you to go watch those if you're looking for ways to make more money. Sometimes at our current job, it's easy enough to ask for a pay raise, which will increase our income, which will allow us to save more. Sometimes we need to start a side hustle. Side hustles don't have to be hard. They can actually be a lot of fun, and a lot of people have found that their side hustles ended up doing so well that they left their full-time job because their side hustle was able to replace their full-time income and make even more when they invested their time and energy into their side hustle. Side hustles are a blast. They really help give you that extra income source, but they give you another outlet for fun. And it's fun that doesn't cost money at this point. It's fun that's making money. You get to do something you enjoy, serving others, providing products or services, and you make money in the process. Stop thinking about budgeting as a punishment. It's actually not. It's a mindset shift for you. Budgeting is about giving you control over your money and giving you the freedom to use your money how you need and want to use that money. When you control your money and when you budget well, money starts to work for you. And this is where everything changes. So stop thinking in a scarcity mindset where I don't have enough and I can never budget, or budgeting is just gonna restrict me and I can't do anything. Kind of like dieting. I don't really like talking about dieting because personally, well, I don't like dieting most of the time, but that's because everybody says you need to eat a kale salad 3 times a day. Nobody likes kale. As far as I'm concerned, you might as well just throw kale in the trash. It's that useless. But when I can eat foods I enjoy, but control the foods that I eat that I enjoy, I can also lose weight and not lose my life to kale. Budgeting is very much the same way. We need to control our money, but we can still enjoy life while controlling our money. And actually that will give us a more lifted life by having financial freedom that we haven't experienced before. So really the keys to great financial freedom and saving on any income, whether you make a little or a lot, you can do this. It's first, you have to know your numbers. If you don't know your numbers, you can't work with those numbers because you don't know what they are in the first place. Next, you need to create a plan. Typically that plan is called a budget, but it doesn't need to be an overly difficult budget. It can be pretty simple and you can do this. Next, you may need to change your income a little bit, get a side hustle, ask for a pay raise. You can do this, you can create more income, and as you create more income, you're able to create more savings and more wealth, which will pay off in the future for you. It'll allow you to take the vacations you want, enjoy the life you want, get that cup of coffee you love, and also plan for retirement where you don't have to work if you don't want to. Let me know down in the comments what you think about this. I will also leave a link down in the comments to these forms so that you can grab these forms, fill them out. It's not hard work, it just takes a couple minutes of your time to do it. And when you start to see the reality of the numbers, everything starts to work better for you. All you've got to do is know your numbers and then work your numbers, put them into place so that your future is a better future. I know you can do this. I believe in you. I look forward to seeing you in the next video.